A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back once again to the Vlog-A-Thon Season 6. So, I'll just go on ahead and say that even though my creativity has not exactly been getting nearly as large, like I mentioned before, the episode cutback ended up taking place, where 100 plus episodes that were originally planned for this season of the Vlog-A-Thon is now basically limited to 47, because not only am I quickly running out of time here, as I originally planned on spending the remainder of April with the Vlog-A-Thon entirely, but because of a number of other reasons that have essentially conflicted with my filming schedule for the Vlog-A-Thon content, as well as a few other announcements that I'll be making here. With this episode of Vlog-A-Thon, I'm gonna have to say that throughout this whole month of April 2026, a lot of weather has been taking place. Right now, it's relatively chilly, coupled with the fact that it's now impressively cloudy outside, so chances are rain could start popping down at any point later today. While I'm not exactly gonna be having any rain here in Menominee Falls, at least not for some time, the cloudiness basically provokes a bit of unpredictability, in which that it's difficult to truly estimate whether rain's gonna come down or not, even in small amounts. Basically a very light sprinkle. But even then, I'm more than confident enough to be out here with this tank top on, believe it or not, in weather that's around 54 degrees on average, which we're pretty much going to be having throughout the rest of the week. It's not going to be any warmer than, let's say, 60 degrees, but the weather predictions might not always be accurate. Let's get that out of our system as well. But back to the point in hand here. We've had a lot of rain this month, which is appropriate considering that April is the month where showers are present. In fact, when it comes to the entirety of the year, each and every month has their placement, with January, February, and March having the remainder of winter in mind after the success of December and the holidays have come and gone. April showers, of course, is what's mentioned. And then, of course, in May, we're gonna have flowers. But then again, there have already been some flowers in growth, even out here in my yard. So I can't exactly say May is going to be all about the flowers, considering how early some of them have been starting to grow. But then again, not all flowers, trees, shrubbery, bushes, etc. are going to have the same exact type of growth pattern or the same type of effects when weather changes are apparent. But in any other case though, the week of April 13th through 18th, especially that point in time, were notorious because of storms and even floods. No joke. Menominee Falls and select rivers and lakes that have appeared throughout this part of the state have been getting a ton of flooding. In fact, we've seen just a mere 12 inches in extra water adding on to the original height of the riverbeds, which is insane. But that's not to say it's the only time that's happened. I remember last August where massive flash flooding had occurred just as well, and I even ended up missing about a day's worth of work because of that. No joke. So, we've had a lot of storms and a lot of rain throughout this whole month. In fact, I took my lawnmower out pretty recently, and it was tough to cut through all that grass. So, you can say that we've had a lot going on based on the weather, and just as many people might hate all the snow, we could say that the rain and floods, as well as the lightning and thunder and even tornadoes, which a few of them have indeed shown up. I'm not kidding. We've had pretty much the first major tornado warnings in Menominee Falls in a little while. So, no doubt Menominee Falls has had it kind of rough with all the rain, storms, and even the tornadoes ripping through town. So, while this house thankfully hasn't had much to do with all that, the kind of damage that was apparent, especially when a roof mechanic came by and checked on the roof, did notice some damage to the shingles that were up on top. So, I can't say for sure that I would allow for his help in case he wants to come back, but the point is that the damage is not always visible, especially when you look at the roof from a certain angle. So let's put it into perspective. The storms, floods, and the rain entirely have caused just as much havoc as other things in life will have for this town, and maybe for the state as well. So, Wisconsin's had plenty to deal with in terms of weather patterns. But we are sure that with May, June, and stuff, we're gonna have a lot more warmer weather coming in pretty soon. It's kind of freaky that March, 1 week, ended up having temperatures at around 80 degrees, but then ended up having a massive blizzard the following week. So I could say that maybe those guys were right, and those millennials, if you will, were talking about climate change and stuff. If any of that really is true, then man, we are living in quite the period in history. I mean, snow in the middle in summer in Texas? I kind of remember when that happened. I also remember in 2019 when parts of the world ended up having a red sort of glow from the sky, kind of like some of those Virtual Boy games, the kind of weird red monochrome it had. I tell you what, that was pretty weird. And kind of unnecessary to have red monochrome when you could just implement color in a so-called virtual reality device. Yet, you know, the past is the past and history is history. All we can do is just move on from it. And who knows, maybe the rest of this year we're probably gonna have even more freakier weather patterns. There could be snow even tomorrow. I guess I'll come back and talk a bit more about that. So, in any case though, I hope that we do have better things for the remainder of the future. And as I have only 2 more episodes of the Vlog-A-Thon to work with, maybe we'll have as much expectations as there is both hope and debauchery to occur. Either way, I want to thank you guys for watching the Vlog-A-Thon and the remainder that I have planned in the works. So 2 more episodes will be on the way tomorrow on April 30th. I don't know if it's gonna snow then, but if it does, I'll let you guys know. So if you want to see more going on my channel, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, follow me wherever you can find me, and stay on the Hollywood side.